Well, hello, Brandy.
Well, hello.
How are you?
I'm perfect. And how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. The sun was shining a little bit today. It's supposed to be warming up, so hopefully. I don't even want to hear what the temperature is there.
Well, let's see, what were my temps today? Let's see. We had a high of 72.
That's pretty chilly for you guys, isn't it?
It felt cold. It actually felt colder than that. It really was pretty chilly. It was kind of windy.
hmm
So,
Yeah, I got to take my dad to Iowa City tomorrow, and it's supposed to be really windy here. And I hate driving in the wind. Hate it. So, did you get your supper ate?
did I get what?
You're separate. I'm
Oh, yes, I
sorry.
did. I did that. Look, I like devoured the mud bugs before I got online. I was like, I can't eat crawfish and get on here.
Ew.
So,
Ew.
uh, it would be
Ew.
gross.
You sent me those pictures. Well, you said that you were waiting on your food. So I'm thinking you went to freaking Chick-fil-A or something. And you send me a picture of those things. And I'm like, is that your food? You're like,
Well, see, Tuesday nights, all of these places around here run these amazing specials. And so I was so jealous of all of my friends sharing pictures last night. I'm like, told Dave, I said, I'm going to get me some crawfish. And he said,
ew.
I'm not surprised. And I sure as hell did. Stop and got me some.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
I
Sean
showed those.
Princess.
Hey, Amber, how are you, girl? Yeah, I showed them to Jim, and he was like, oh my gosh. He loves them. Ugh.
Oh my god. And it's a drive-through place I like to go to. It's one of those places when you don't really feel like going to a restaurant, you can just drive through and they bag them up for you, and they're
So,
so good.
okay, I love lobster. I love
Mhm.
shrimp. I
Mhm.
love crab legs. I love
Mhm.
any kind of fish except for catfish. But those things, were they alive when you got them?
No, they were dead. They boiled them. They boiled them like you would crabs.
So, what do you eat off of them?
Do you mean how do you eat them?
Yes, like what do you break off to eat? All of it?
You pop the head off and then you pop the shell off that's around the body, like the
Mm-mm.
lobster part,
Yeah.
and you eat that.
Hmm. Oh, I don't know.
I I used to not eat them. I used to hate them. I used to like be going what with them. And I got pregnant with my son, and we went to a crawfish boil. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna have morning sickness. This stuff's gonna make me puke. And girl, I got so hungry. I sat there and started eating crawfish, and I have not stopped.
Kind of like me when I first got with Jim, we went to the boat and it was crab legs, and I was so hungry, and he couldn't freaking crack the legs open fast enough for me. And yes, what are they? Pop its head off. LOL. What was it? What are they that you ate, Brandy?
Craw-
Crawfish.
Crawfish,
Ugh.
mud bugs.
Hey
It's
Shay.
it's one of the, hey Shay, it's one of those things as Cajun people we live for this time of year. But
Mm,
yeah, you like twist the little head off of it, and then you peel the little body piece off like you would a shrimp, and
yuck.
there you go.
Hey Carrie. Yeah, I don't think I could. I guess I'd have to be pretty. I guess I shouldn't say I could because I said I would never, ever, ever in my entire life eat sushi. And
Oh my
now
god, I love sushi.
that
Love sushi.
is, oh my gosh, that is the app. Now mine's got to be the cooked sushi. I don't like the raw stuff.
Oh no, I can do raw.
Yeah, I
I
like the
don't get
cooked.
sushi often. It's one of those I tend to do by myself because Dave does not like sushi. He'll eat cooked sushi.
It's
Now,
so
when we go to the
expensive.
restaurants, like you can get the bowls where it's got like the stir fried rice and the teriyaki
hmm
chicken, all that. He'll eat that,
Yeah.
but he doesn't eat the sushi with me.
Yeah, we don't get it very often because it's so expensive. When they first came
It's
here,
pricey.
it's like 30 miles away, and we were like so addicted, and it was like Jim was wanting it like like twice a month, and now we get it like twice a year because it's so expensive.
Yeah, just for me, it really depends on what kind of rolls I'm wanting, but I'm looking at least just my plate alone, $30 easy, and that's with nothing to drink. That's just with some water.
Yeah. I think when Jim and me order, it's like $100, but we get like three different. We get the California roll. We get another one that has mango in it. Oh my gosh, it is so good.
Well, we've got a new place opening up that's supposed to be like a sushi buffet thing, so I'm kind of
Oh,
excited about that.
kind
And
of.
it's brand new. And then there's one over in Houston a friend of mine goes to, and every time he goes, he sends me pictures, and I told him he was an asshole because he never reminds me to try to make me come over and meet up with him. But it's like a conveyor belt. Like they have different things they put out, and it's like a little train conveyor belt that goes through, and you just take stuff off the little conveyor belt. You pay like one price, and
Oh,
the
wow.
sushi comes through. I'm like, I just want to go for the experience of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drive to Houston. That's 2 hours away just to go to a specific restaurant. But I think it'd be fun to go have the experience. And Travis is such a good friend of ours that it would not be a boring time at all because he's a character.
Carrie goes, why does it cost so much? They don't even cook it.
Right. There ain't even nothing. It's some rice. It's literally some rice with a few little pieces of food on there. So I don't know why it's so expensive, but the shit's high.
It is very, very high.
Like your average roll, just the cheap one, just the basic, like the Philadelphia roll is like $8 to $9.
And I could eat
And then
probably
you get
10
into
of them.
good rolls and have like the octopus in it and the eel and all that, which I don't like octopus and I don't like eel. But those are expensive. Those rolls get expensive.
Yeah. I like the oh my gosh, the first time, Brandy. I know you guys, we're supposed to be talking about Sheena, and I'm gonna get to Sheena, but I have got to tell you this. The first time Jim ever took me there, you know that green stuff that's really, really hot? You know what I'm talking about? They
Wasabi.
have, what is it? Sabi?
Wasabi.
Yes. Okay. Stupid me. I love guacamole.
I know where this is going.
Oh, so here I take and big old freaking like big tablespoon of it, and I put the whole freaking thing in my mouth, and I couldn't breathe. I thought I was dying. I thought I was gonna die. I couldn't breathe. I mean, I was
God.
up, jumping up and down in my seat when we were in the restaurant, and Jim's laughing at me because he knew exactly. He knew I thought it was guacamole. It looks just like it, and that shit. I will keep it stay. I will never ever go near it again. You done that?
Oh.
That was terrible. I can still
I
feel
goofed one time and wasn't paying attention that I got a bunch of it on a piece of the roll. Because I like to take it and I take a little bit of it and put it in the soy sauce and mix it up. And then I wasn't paying attention and somehow a big clump of it got on there. And I thought I had tears.
Oh,
It was
now,
rough.
yeah.
And I like spicy. I like spicy. That's a whole nother level of spice.
That's a whole, I mean, I literally thought I was dying. I couldn't breathe. I'm standing by the table, jumping up and down, trying to fan my mouth, and Jim's laughing. Everybody in the restaurant's looking at me like I'm freaking a moron. And I didn't know what to do. I mean, I couldn't breathe. I was, I thought I was dying.
I never would have thought it was guacamole just because I don't understand why Japanese people would have guacamole. But hey.
Well, hell, I don't know, but I didn't even know really what sushi was. So, well, isn't guacamole avocados?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was freaking, I love guacamole. I could eat that on freaking bread. Love it. Oh,
I'll take an avocado and cut it up and put some salt on it, and I'm happy.
Yep. Me too. Me too.
We're going to make everybody hungry.
Well,
I'm going to eat my chocolate covered Peeps while we talk.
Ew. Peeps. I'll stick my Pepsi right here. Peeps. Ugh. Yeah. Nah, I'll stay away from. That's one thing about Easter. They're so damn cute, but oh, they are awful.
Oh, I love them. Well, these are the ones, they have chocolate on the bottom, and Jesus, they're good. Raina's trying to eat it. You cannot have it, Raina.
Your dog?
You can't have it. Yes.
Has your dogs ever ate chocolate?
Yeah, Raina's eaten half a pan of freaking brownies before. I made brownies and they were on the stove. These things were still warm. I go in there, she's licking her chops. I'm like, what did you just get?
Oh,
And I look, and she's eating half a pan of fucking brownies.
Did she get sick?
Oh, thank
No.
God. And chocolate's not good for them. They're not
I
supposed
know,
to love
that's
it.
Well,
But
Jim,
yeah, she's helped herself many times.
Jim, Gypsy likes chocolate ice cream, and I keep telling Jim, don't give her any, but she, gets right up there and gets her little chompers and starts licking the ice cream out of the bowl. But yeah, I don't know. She got
Carrie,
into
them
something.
Cadbury eggs, I can hurt myself. I look forward to this time of year just for Cadbury eggs.
Yum. Cadbury egg, the caramel ones.
I
Yum.
don't like the caramel ones.
I
I like the
do.
old-fashioned ones.
Allie doesn't get human food unless Sean falls asleep eating. She loves Doritos.
So you let us open a bag of chips. Raina goes nuts. Raina's favorite treat in the world is a bag of chips. She loves chips. She gets everything. She's a
Gypsy
mess.
likes Kraft cheese slices. Loves them.
I
Not
use
with
that for
crackers.
medicine for the dog. So yeah, mine love that too.
What, cheese? Oh, you mean giving them their medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but they don't. She don't like any other cheese other than it's got to be Kraft or Velveeta singles.
When I have ice cream and I get through with my bowl, my Jasper, the one cat, he will come and sit and wait for me to get through. And if I'm not hurrying up to his level of what he thinks I should be eating my ice cream, he will reach over and grab the bowl. Because when I'm through, he wants to lick the bowl. That's his favorite thing in the world to do. He just cleans the bowl when I'm through with ice cream.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Carrie's kitty liked licking cheese off of the Doritos. These animals are so human. They are.
Growing up, my mom had his name was Pugsley, and he was a Chihuahua Pekingese mix.
Oh,
He was my little brother. His thing on Saturday mornings, that's why when they say chocolate's not, you can't come to dogs. He lived to be 14, and for most of his life, every Saturday morning, him and I had chocolate chip cookies and milk for breakfast.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I would get up. He would wake me up. We would go in the kitchen. We would get our cookies and sit and watch cartoons and have them cookies. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but Gypsy likes Oreos, not the stuff in the center, the white stuff. She just likes the cookie part. She loves it.
It's something in the chocolate that does cause heart problems with them, evidently.
Isn't it?
You have to
Is it dark, or is it dark chocolate or any chocolate?
I don't know. I think it might be dark. I don't know.
I think it is dark, because somebody that raises dogs told me that if milk chocolate's okay, it's the dark chocolate.
You have to be really, really careful with a lot of sweets and candies that have the peppermint, like the candy canes have that xylitol sugar in it.
Yep.
That is lethal to a dog.
Yep.
And when I was doing keto diet and all that, that's one of the ingredients they use a lot in different things. I threw it out when I realized what it was, and I won't use it. I won't have anything in my house with that in it, because mine get whatever. I share with my animals. If I drop it, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
And so I just don't take any chances.
Yeah. That stuff's pretty bad.
Sean's Princess, what is Allie?
That's her dog.
What kind of dog?
Oh my gosh. That dog's spoiled too.
Yeah, Carrie, mine are spoiled. Y'all heard all about mine. Mine are rotten.
Frenchie.
Oh, she's a Frenchie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sat here this evening eating my crawfish, and Cooper thought he was supposed to have. I told him he wasn't going to like those. Those are spicy. That might make his little butthole hurt.
Are they real spicy?
Sometimes, yeah.
Huh. Now, can you get them not spicy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Depending on the place you go to.
Yeah, spices and me do not get along. I'll be up all night freaking puking and heartburn.
My oldest is allergic to spice. So, her lips turn purple. So, we always boiled hers with just a little bit of the regular crab boil.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would add the rest of the seasonings in there and do ours.
Yeah.
I like mine spicy. I want to feel it.
Yeah. Jim
I want
loves
my nose
spice.
running.
So
Yeah,
are you
I
one of
want to.
these people that like the habanero peppers and all that?
And a little bit. I don't like to eat just like a habanero pepper or jalapeno pepper, and I do like the spice in my food.
Mm. Have you ever heard of slap your mama?
Yep. Oh yeah, we use that a lot down here.
Jim, that I have when I cook, I have to use that on all his food. And Tori's boyfriend Lathan, do you got any of that slap your mama? Hello, Teresa. Yeah, Katie or Tori likes it on her eggs too. Ugh. A
Oh yeah,
little
it's
bit, I
good.
guess, isn't bad. Anyways, have you ever heard of Sheena Gibbs,
No,
Brandy?
and I meant to look at it today and did not have time.
That's okay. I really there's I really just wanted to talk about her because she's been missing since last November of 2022. Uh,
Hello, Teresa. I wasn't ignoring you. I'm sorry. I almost forgot to say hello. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
at Carrie, she's my dream dog. Never again, though. Oh my God, I didn't realize how high maintenance they are. Dogs are high maintenance. Grooming
My
kills
dream
me.
dog is a corgi. I want a corgi so bad.
Those are little tiny
It's got the
things.
no butt. It's like no tail. It's like the little short, stocky, medium-sized dog, but with no tail. Like they've got the cutest butts on the planet.
Oh, yeah. I think any dog is freaking cute. I'm a dog lover. Not as much as a cat. Now my mom and dad's cat, they've had her for gosh, 22 years. She is old and she still, just lays around and gets what she wants, but dogs are and horses are my babies. This is Sheena. She was 40 years old and she survived. She was a cancer survivor. She was a CNA, and at the time of her disappearance, she was actually doing COVID testing where she worked at. She was a CNA for quite a
I
few
love her
years.
eyes. She
Oh,
has
she's just
beautiful
beautiful,
eyes.
beautiful, beautiful. And you know me, you guys, talking about these people that are missing. There's a lot of people aren't being talked about, and I know I've got a small channel, but I'm going to make sure these people are talked about because it's just, to me, I will never understand how some people get talked about and some people don't. I don't get it. And if I was a family member, I think I'd be questioning it because I question it. And I don't have any family members that are missing, but Harry
Right,
Mulligan,
Carrie? She's got just a very soft, loving smile. But her eyes, to me, I love people's eyes, and I gravitate towards people's eyes.
yeah,
And
well,
her eyes are just peaceful. They're loving,
mhm.
gentle.
Yeah, she was a helper. She loved helping people from the way her family had said. Her cousin, he got on the news one time and said, we just want to find her. She was leaving. She was last seen in Rogers Park, where she lived in Chicago. And she's actually from Davenport, Iowa. And she moved to Chicago. Well, she was leaving Chicago to go take care of her mom, who was ill in Davenport, and she never arrived there. And nobody's heard from her or nothing. All this time there's been nothing, no new leads or anything. Now I'm going to say this, that somebody had left a comment
Oh, look
under.
at what Carrie said. Look at what Carrie said.
Okay, hold on here.
Hi, Alexis.
Yeah, Carrie. Yeah, it's crazy that some of these people, they don't get talked about. I don't get it. Um, I didn't know you were in St. Louis, Carrie. Heck, you're not too far from me. I was there not too long ago. um,
If y'all hear heavy breathing, it's not me.
It's
Raina is
you. Quit.
Raina, Raina wants in my lap, and so she's like hanging over the computer, like, "Mom, you
You're
must love me."
literally blaming it on Rena. But I mean, seriously, you guys, she was 40 years old. She survived cancer. She was a CNA, very hard worker, had an amazing work ethic. She was an activist, uh, always helping people, all to just pack up to go take care of her mother, who was very ill at the time. I don't know if her mother's still living or not. And she didn't show up. Nothing. And there's been no new leads. But as I was saying, there was somebody that commented under, it might have been, I did a video on Sheena back in, right when she went missing. She'd only been missing a few days. You can go back and find that. But somebody had left a comment saying that this girl that left the comment, her aunt worked with Sheena, and I guess her boyfriend was very, very controlling, but nothing has been done about it, which doesn't surprise me. And I was hoping.
So has he been investigated?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen anything. If you go to research Sheena, there's been really nothing updated on her, which is sad. Nothing. I know she graduated from Northwestern. She was an activist, a home health aide. She worked at the university there in Illinois as a CNA, plus she was doing COVID testing. Always just very, very, very warm and loved to help people. I mean, this is somebody went around and they painted this mural on one of the walls, but I'm assuming this is her family. I'm assuming the one's her mother. I don't know.
Maybe mother and grandmother.
It might be.
So
Her
when did she commit missing?
November of 2022.
So just this past November.
No.
You mean
no? It's 2021. Sorry.
Okay.
2021.
So it's been a year and 3 months, year and 4 months. Wow.
Yes. And being in that area, there are a lot of people missing.
It is a rough area. That the whole area of Chicago is really rough.
There was another lady, I think her name was Tiffany Foster. She went missing too, and she was a beautiful, beautiful colored lady. And I think the way that they talk about it, there's a lot of, and I don't even know how to say this, but I don't even know what word to use without people freaking out on me, but they're saying colored women don't get looked upon as if they were a white woman. The families feel like nobody talks about them. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That you will not get the media on covering missing black women.
That makes me sick. And I know when she first went missing,
any woman of color, the media does not tend to pick up on it like they do the blonde white,
unless they're
and that.
Yeah.
Bad.
And well, what's crazy is she was an activist. She was all for this, and I don't know, but what I asked, you guys all know Tia Simone. Back in November of 2021, when I first covered Sheena's case, I asked Tia if she would cover it. I don't know if she ever did, but I think it's wrong. I mean, if I was the family, I can say the same. Harry was white, but nobody's, I guess
I
I
think there's a
shouldn't say
lot that
nobody
factors
is. People, I mean, there's more people talking about Harry, which that's all I've ever wanted. But I think everybody that's missing needs to be talked about. And I know that there's only so many YouTube channels, but I just don't understand how one person can go national media, the mainstream media is covering them all over the world, but one other person don't get talked about. I don't get it. Oh, I hope
I
so,
think as
Amber.
far as social media, what happens, in my opinion, strictly hashtag my opinion, we watch, they love to pick up cases the news is talking about. Like, everybody jumped on the Summer Wells case, and they jumped on Gabby Petito's case. They jumped on Kylie Rodney's case.
It's a moneymaker.
When social media starts seeing that's what's bringing in the clicks and the views, that's when people start covering it. And if you don't have some kind of force that pushes the case in front of the media to get the media to talk about it, then nobody else talks about it.
Yeah.
There was a case that was happening, and I'd have to go back through mine because I covered her right about the time another big case was happening. And here was this little case of this little Hispanic girl that come up missing, and they had video footage of who took her. And when they finally got, nobody was talking about it. And I mean, they ended up, it took a couple of days, and they went in to get him, and he took his own life. And then they found her a day or so later, passed away. But nobody was talking about it. And it's frustrating because
It really is.
these
And that's why,
women need to be talked about.
and I'm not just saying if your state does not have a cold case unit, Iowa does not. And that is what so many of us are pushing for. I mean, I've talked to state representatives, we've contacted state senators. We are really, really trying to get a cold case unit because just in Iowa alone, I think there was, last I knew, there was 300 and some cold cases in Iowa.
Well, even with a cold case, and this is something I talked to Stephen David Lampley when we were talking about Kathy Jones. She's a cold case. What happens with those cold cases is those detectives that deal with cold cases still have other cases. So basically, they don't pick up that cold case file until there's a lull in what they're already working on. So they're still not going to really have a full-time force. Not all departments can afford it.
Yeah.
To have a force that just works nothing on cold cases. So basically, you've got detectives that when their caseload is really low, they pull a file and kind of work on it here and there. So they're not even.
Well, the way I understood it, some of them, I don't know, I think Iowa, what they do is they get a whole bunch of retired FBI, DCI, DIA, and they get all these people and then they pay them to come in because there's been a lot of cases recently that has been solved because of a cold case unit, because of these retired FBI agent, law enforcement going in and working on them.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that's what happens here. I have a feeling it's going to be passed this time. I think that we had a cold case unit. It was funded for I don't know how long, and then something happened and they took it away from us. I mean, just for the family members alone, it gives them a little bit of, I guess I just couldn't imagine. I mean, I know I'd say this all the time, but I could not imagine not knowing where one of my family members. I mean, we've got little Ty Husted. I mean, he's not little, but he was just 19 years old, 19-year-old baby to me, just disappeared out of the blue and still has not been heard from. Nothing. I'll be covering his case. Oh, by the way, I know this channel's going to be, mainly for missing people, but I'm going to be doing Nicola Bully, and I think she is in the media now, but she wasn't. But the only reason I had a lady, her name's Hazel, reach out to me in my comment section and has been wanting me to do Nicola. Well, they found her body. So I am going to be covering her because there's a lot. Brandy, if anybody, you guys can come up, but you guys need to look into that case. She's all over now. They couldn't find her. And anyways, just go research her. And I said I'd never do something in the mainstream.
I know just in our area, there are so many missing women, and it's just sad. I mean, the problem for our area is, Interstate 10 runs through here, and Interstate 10 is like the Mecca Highway for sex trafficking.
Yep, and Interstate 80 here.
And people don't believe that, but in Houston, they've already busted multiple staging units where they had women stored that they were bringing in for the sex trafficking. And they bring them in, they store them there, and they put them, on whatever they're taking them out on to go to different areas. They rescued a couple years back, something like 200 women they found. And then nobody was talking about it. It was like, why are we not talking about this?
The sex trafficking. I think it's been going on for so many years. And
it has.
Just like the old Johnny Gosch case back in the 1980s, they say that was possibly contributed to sex trafficking. I mean, I don't think we realize how deep it really does go. And that scares me. I mean, when you can literally go into Ottumwa, I'm just using a little town, which is about 20 miles. It's my closest Walmart. And I won't allow my kids to go in there by themselves because I swear to God, you guys, that there will be guys in there, and they're usually some kind of, where they don't talk English, which I think they can, but then they have these little microphones and they'll follow girls, especially that are, alone, even young women. Now they wouldn't want some 50-year-old woman, but they will follow these women, and they talk to each other on these little headsets. And there's been people here in Ottumwa that have to be escorted out by staff members, or they call, someone, because they try taking them right out of a freaking Walmart store.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you're getting into your car, they'll yank like your young kids or something with you. I've always made my kids get in the car, put their seatbelts on, start the car, and stay in the car while I'm loading the car when they were little.
Yep. Well, they do so many crazy things. They leave notes on your car. They, something that you have to, look at. They'll put something, let the air out of your tire. So, it's just crazy. And then they follow them, and they know their tire is going to go flat. And hey, Hemi.
Hey, Hemi.
But, I really wanted to really talk about Sheena and, keep her name alive for not only her family, but for every other missing person out there that nobody's talking about. If there's anybody in your care, Brandy, you said there's a lot of people from your area. Let's talk about them. Carrie, if there's people from your area, with you living in St. Louis, I'm sure there's people, Alexis, I know there's got to be people around your areas. We need to talk about them, and let's get their name out there, because you never know where they could be. They may not be dead.
Well, and that's, when you look at cases like the missing or unsolved murders, for me, that is the worst fear a family member can have.
Oh, yeah.
Is to not know where their child went or who murdered their child. And that's why it breaks my heart for little Kathy, because most of her family's dead. I think there's a couple cousins
Yeah.
left. Everybody's dead. So they have passed away not knowing who hurt Kathy.
Yeah. Look at Leonard. Leonard Milligan, Harry's dad. He grew old.
Mhm.
He could have sold the house. He could have sold it um back after Vicky had passed away, and he wouldn't sell it until it got, where he had to go to you know, and he moved to another town and stuff where he was closer to family, but he sat there in that house and waited and Mark would say, Dad, let's just sell the place and go. And he says, no, I want, if Harry comes home, if he can find his way home, I want to be here when he gets here. I mean, my God. And Leonard had to die not knowing what happened. And he made Mark promise, you promise me that you'll find Harry. And Mark promised him he would do everything that he could. I mean, like I said, I've said this before, I'll be driving down the road and I'll see a stupid pond, a ditch. We've heard so many rumors. He's been buried in a rock quarry. He's there. And you sit there and it'll drive you nuts not knowing. I can't imagine how Mark and Lori.
The rumor mills surrounding those kind of cases.
It's ridiculous.
In really any cases. Because let's go back to a famous case. Let's look at Watt's case.
Yeah.
Now that's a cut and dry case, okay? We know what happened. But even the rumor mill part of that, do you know what that does to the wrist checks?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It just.
Speaking of that, I seen something. Did they win a case or something? Did they sue somebody and win?
Yeah, Frankie's been on the ball on that. I think it was somewhere UK maybe. Somewhere, or did they win one against Armchair Detective? I don't remember.
I don't know,
there
but
was something
they were saying congratulations, Frankie. I seen it. I don't even usually talk about that case anymore, but I seen it where they were congratulating and maybe they can all move on now. And I didn't know what had happened. I blame that case of making this freaking community crazy.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what, I wouldn't even join the one. I started to get into the Watts thing because we had gotten through with Gypsy. It's like, oh, I've been watching Watts. I was watching it as it was happening, and I tried to join some of the groups. I'm like, these people are fucking crazy.
Oh,
I left every one of the groups. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
like they were insane. And then I come to YouTube, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! I can almost pick out who the crazies are in our community. But where I can say, oh, you were in Watts Island, weren't you? It's insane.
You and Sean's Princess both, and Milan, I think, you guys can freaking spot. It's almost like you guys have this freaking inner thing that stay away or watch, be careful, something isn't right.
Sean's Princess, I blame it all on what she said. Absolutely, I'm with you. I agree. My God, can we send them all back to no? Because a few of them I like a few of you from the Watt stuff, but my Lord,
Carrie says Facebook groups ?
Yes, I was in all kinds of freaking crazy Facebook groups. I had several.
Like, what do you mean? Like
Facebook group? I have one for true crime, and I never do anything in it, and I need to.
Are you talking about like YouTube, Facebook, like this?
Yeah.
That's
where we got our start, guys. That's where Natasha got her start. We were all over on Facebook.
I never knew that they had stuff like that on Facebook.
Groups for different cases, and you do Facebook Lives in those groups. You just post things in those groups. I mean, and I'm going to tell you, when it comes to joining groups, you have to learn from my experience. Yes, Sean's Princess, intuitive. I use my intuition and I live for it. I have learned the hard way. Listen. But when you look at the groups on Facebook, always look at who the admins and the owners of the groups are. I made the mistake multiple times and ended up in groups that were Natasha's.
Why Natasha has a bunch
It
of them?
never ended well. Oh,
So
yeah,
are you
she always
talking
does.
about like Harry's group, like Harry's Facebook page?
Is it a page or a group?
It's a
I don't
page,
remember.
I think. Well, what's the
You can make groups. Like we had a by proxy, which was the Gypsy group. There were multiple groups. Like there at one point, I think we had 6 or 7 groups that revolved around Gypsy. It's the same with Chris Watts. You can go in and you type in the name of whatever case you're looking at, and you'll find groups for that case. Like Diane Downs. You can look at Ted Bundy groups. I mean, there's groups out there.
That. Huh.
There's Delphi groups.
Oh, the Delphi
I got
groups.
in
Now
trouble with the Manor.
I'm in a Delphi
didn't
group.
realize it got so crazy with some of the YouTube true crime. Oh, Carrie, they were nuts.
What's that?
It was crazy.
Oh, see, I don't know anything about the McCamey Manor thing.
When we were on Facebook and we left Facebook and we came to YouTube first, and it was like we just went away from all of it. We thought Gypsy was bad. Y'all, I say this often. I would take the Gypsy days back in a heartbeat to get off this roller coaster ride. And it was crazy. It was just bad. I didn't know what Fools was, but I was going with it, Carrie. I was like, I don't know what Fools means, but I'm going to go with it.
Is there as much drama on Facebook as there is on YouTube?
There can be, but Facebook shuts it down faster.
Really?
Like, Facebook is really quick to remove shit. Like we can't even in the groups during the Parkland trial, we couldn't say death penalty, or we couldn't type death penalty. We had to put DP because Facebook was taking the groups.
Hey, Mark. I was in an Idaho killer group and it is insane. Had to get out. See, I didn't.
They are. Like you get some psychos in those groups. It is just.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Never watched the Watts case. Oh, Hemi.
Oh, Hemi. Don't. Don't. Yeah.
Right, Sean's Princess. Oh, I love that. Look at her comment.
Really?
She
almost lost her
baby.
Are you? Wait a minute. Which one? Are you talking about the NK comment?
No, what do you know? Where she says, yes, the anti-MM and the Watts mixed and made this baby. The two groups came together and made this shit show that we're in.
Okay, yeah, I see. I thought you were talking about the one where she about lost her Facebook group for calling NK ugly.
Oh, like when Natasha says that they lost profiles on Facebook because of the drama, she ain't kidding. Facebook took shit. Facebook doesn't play. Facebook, that's why people moved to YouTube, because they couldn't get away with it on Facebook.
Well, so you got Facebook that is, yeah, they overdo it. And then you got YouTube that don't do anything about it. Well, right. I think they are starting to crack down, though. I hope so, because some of the stuff
they are,
ridiculous.
But the problem is it's not equal across the board.
Yeah, so, I know. It depends on how much money they make.
And to get into the algorithms, the dramas where the algorithms are going. So when we're talking about stuff like this case here, you can't get people to see it because of the algorithms.
I know, which that's ridiculous. You know, oh, it's wrong.
I love doing lives on Facebook. I mean, that's where I got my start. I did. I liked it. Mainly because you could kind of control who was in your circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like because you set your groups to private or public or however, but if they're private, unless they're in that group, they don't see the live.
Yeah.
And you can remove people. Like on YouTube, we can't remove them from our lives. So if we have somebody that's really giving us a hard time,
I can block them.
You can block them, but they can still come watch your stuff.
Yeah, well, they can watch all they want.
You know what I mean?
What does Natasha say? They're a block.
Use whatever they want.
What?
Blog beach. But the thing is with Facebook, when you block them, they can't see your stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
They can't watch your lives. They're nothing. You remove them from your shit Facebook, but you don't get monetization is harder on Facebook than it is YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the anti-MM groups would go live and it was always infiltrators. Gosh.
Oh
Yeah, and
yeah,
I mean,
it
social
just.
media could be used for so much good. And that's why
Hmm.
we're staying away from that the drama. I really am, but I just think if more people put in as much energy into talking about missing people that other people aren't talking about, it would just the world would be better. I'm just saying it would be a
Right.
lot
Well,
better.
without even, we don't even have to mention names. But I will say there are people involved in the drama that we all see happening on a daily basis, especially the last couple of days. Some of those people, if they put half of that energy, half,
Yes,
a quarter of
a
that energy
quarter.
into a case, they
Yep,
could make huge changes and be a huge voice. And they don't. And
yep,
they
and
could be
that's what
using
I
that for some good. Because
yeah,
I think most of those people, there's one or two that are I'm excluding for this. Most of those people have a good heart in there somewhere.
they have to,
They
you
just
know.
fall in the ditch. They fall in the ditch
Well, they
and they
see, I
can't
mean,
get
we
out.
all hear it. Everybody says, drama sells, money talks. And
Mhm.
people always say, well, money's the root of all evil. And I do not believe it is money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money. People love their money and they
Mhm.
will do anything. They will, throw away every moral they have and put all the good aside for the color green. I mean, and
Right.
you
Well,
know,
I say that all the time. My channel is tiny, so be it.
me too.
I For one, I have a lot going on that I stay busy. I don't
Mhm.
have the time to spend every day on YouTube because I am not comfortable covering things that are happening as they're happening. Let's use Kylie Rodney since that was a recent one.
Oh,
I was not comfortable covering that.
yeah.
At first, talking about it, remember when we were kind of talking about where's this missing girl?
Yep.
And then as it kept going, it was like, okay, this isn't okay. This
Yeah.
is gross. And it just snowballed. I could not. I mean, those people were on live for hours a day, every
Throwing
day,
young
and multiple
kids,
times a day. And it's like, how can you
ruining
do that?
ruining people's lives by saying they were guilty of stuff and it was terrible.
Right.
Terrible.
Judging how people were at a funeral, and
Mhm.
it just it it boggles my mind. I can't do it. If that's what they want to do, that's their business. That is their life.
Yep.
I can't do it. I
I
can't
won't
spend
do
all
it.
day every day on here. For one, I have a house to take care of.
And
I have
dogs.
animals to take care of. I have me. I have
Yep.
me to take care of. My God, how do these
Yep.
people take baths and eat dinner? You know what I mean? And
Honestly,
some of them have kids.
yeah, I don't know. We're talking
So
about we're gonna
I don't.
we
And so
are.
my channel is going to be where it's at, how it is, until it's time, and I'm not worried about it.
Yep. I'm gonna do, Harry, we're gonna be doing him again next week. And I'm gonna do this Nicola for Hazel. And, I'm just gonna get different cases. I plan on doing Ty. And like I said, Brandy, you pick some people where you live and missing people and let's cover them, please. you know, um, I just, I can't. And if you got Carrie, Amber, well, Sean's Princess, if you guys don't want to, if you guys don't have a channel or you guys can always come up on Brandy's or mine and we can cover cases. Susan Powell. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. You
That's one that
mentioned
gets me.
that. My
Oh,
friend
thank you,
locally
Winnie.
here asked me if they have ever found her and they have not.
They did find some bones in one
But it
of
wasn't
the
hers.
shafts a while
Yeah.
back.
It wasn't.
I had not heard that they got the DNA back yet.
I thought they said
Have they
it
got the
was
DNA
animal.
back?
I'm
No, there were some that were human just a couple months ago.
Well, surely it don't that take that long. Oh my gosh. 20 minutes from
Sometimes
where
DNA can take. Sometimes because those would
um
be pretty decimated bones. So,
well
uh,
let's I'm gonna write her down too. Because that one there, a friend of mine locally was just asking me about her. It wasn't her. I didn't think it was. I could have swore I seen where it wasn't Susan. I don't know.
I mean, I love cold cases, but I am also a firm advocate for wrongful conviction cases.
Yeah, and that's I
Uh,
would then will you do me a favor? I want you and me to do the case here from Iowa. I'm sure you've heard of it, the Todd Mullis case, the
the
corn
which
rake,
one?
the corn rake murder. I
Oh, I
plan
haven't heard of
on
that one. I'll look it up.
actually. I talked to it would be Todd's mother's good friend. Her name is Leslie, and she told me she would come up on my panel. That man
Okay.
is sitting in prison, and it is scientifically impossible for him to have killed his wife. I'm just telling you
Mhm.
guys that. He got life in prison, but he's got a whole new set of lawyers right now. Um,
Well,
anyways,
Texas has quite a few right now. Like we've got one that just got a stay of execution, but because they got a stay of execution, that leaves 20 days for Ivan Cantu. Um, and like I've said a few times, and I really need to dig into and share Ivan's story. The problem with Ivan's case for me, he's the 1 minute the evidence shows guilt, and the next minute I'm going, there's reasonable doubt. So it's hard. It's a hard case. I don't think he's got 20 days. I think he'll be put to death in 20 days. And that's heartbreaking because what if he's really innocent?
yeah,
From a confusing case, because it's not an easy case. It's not a slam dunk case on any side of the road. But there's a lot of reasonable doubt. But for me, the other one is Rodney Reed and Darlie Routier. Or Routier. I was listening to somebody earlier call her Routier, and I'm like, it's not Routier.
that one there. Did you cover her before?
I have.
That's what I thought. Um, you don't think she did it, or do you? I can't remember what you thought.
No, I don't think. I believe in her innocence.
Yeah. Now the husband. Did you think anything? I think that guy's weird.
My opinion on this, and Darlie says that she doesn't agree with this. I have talked to Darlie.
You've talked to her?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. I haven't wrote her in a while. I need to write her because I haven't talked to her in a while. Um, she does not believe this, but I think it was an insurance scam because the husband was doing a lot of insurance scams, and I think he owed somebody money.
See, I either heard that from
And
you
I
or from
think it went south.
somebody. Yeah. Ugh.
I think it went south. People tried to say she did it for the money. Y'all, she had a $5,000 insurance plan on those boys that was attached to their life insurance plans. That's one of those burial plans you get when you get your own life insurance, and it's like a penny to add the child's to it for $5,000 for burial expenses. That's not enough money to kill your child for.
Yeah.
It's just not. And the injury that she had, she's lucky it didn't go less than a piece of paper more. It would have killed her within seconds.
Yep.
So for me, I just know how Texas can be, and I know how Texas can be in that time because I was the same age as Darlie, and I knew how I was judged. She had bleach hair, she wore her jewelry, always had her makeup on, and had fake boobs. And she lived in one of the Bible Belt areas of Texas. And one of the jurors said, "What kind of mother dresses like that?"
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So they pretty much convicted her on her looks?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They made her sound superficial and fake. and they had medical people from the hospital come in and testify that she wasn't upset, that she wasn't this, she never cried, she never did this. But what they did not bring forward were the medical records where those same doctors and nurses wrote in her charts, patient extremely upset today, patients, we can't get her to calm down, different things that contradicted everything they shared. And the attorney was also the husband and the mother's attorney for another case.
Wow.
The county had charged them with because they shared information on what the charge was. So yeah, no, she did not have good counsel, and she's very naive. She's still very naive, I feel. But no, I'm a firm believer that she is innocent. I'd love to do the Betty. I love Betty Broderick. I just got through listening to the book, one of the books, and watching so many of the movies. I get hooked on Betty Broderick's case like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, your mom's got a connection with Linda.
Yes, they were. Yes, she knew her.
I want to talk. Oh, I want to talk.
Yep. Wait until Amber, when we do this, maybe you can be on panel with us too, Brandy, and we could all. Amber, or Sean's prince, I call her Amber. She said it's fine. I'm not doxing her. It's not her last name. But wait until you hear what she has to say about Linda. I mean, it is crazy.
I wonder if it's on point for what I'm thinking.
Probably.
I thought Dirty John, their episode of Dirty John, I thought was really, really good. You can't beat Meredith Baxter when it comes to the original Betty Broderick show. Yeah. I think Meredith Baxter played her perfectly.
She did. Yes, Hemi, you should research it, but you probably don't have a lot of time either. You work all the time.
Audiobooks, Hemi, get audiobooks. That'll help.
That's the only thing I can do. I can't sit down and read.
I used to read all the time. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. But in the last, I don't know, the last 6-7 years, I guess, I've gotten to where I stay so busy. I don't, even when I'm sitting down, I usually have other things going on, so I'm not focusing on a book. So if I have my headphones in and I'm listening to the book, or I'm listening to it in the car, or whatever, then I'm doing better with the book. But I miss holding the book and reading.
Look at Sean's Princess's comment. So it's probably what you're thinking.
Probably.
Yep. Whoops, sorry, Hemi.
Now I don't think that her being a home-wrecking, trifling bitch deserved for her to be murdered. Now, I will say that. But I don't think she was this perfect princess that they like to say that she is.
From what
that's my opinion on it, though.
and that's pretty much what Amber told me. But she can tell you more because we've talked a lot about it, and it's just, to me, Betty. It's hard to say.
If Betty would just on her last parole thing, if she would just flat out say, "Look, I really shouldn't. I should have handled my emotions better," she'd have been out. But she still wants to do the blame game, and it just really drove her crazy.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's
called
Yes.
Yes. And her son said it best. The only people she was a threat to are dead. So there's nothing to worry about.
Well, I will say this: her daughter is the reason why she didn't get out this last time. Her daughter went in there and said that I don't think my mom she's still unstable. She deserves to be in here. They listen to her daughter.
The kids are still very divided. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the kids are very divided still.
Yep. And it was the one daughter.
Sad. That's really sad.
It is very sad. I mean, just, those kids lost.
I'm gonna tell you the one that freaks me out, and I hope that she won't ever get out. But that's Diane Downs.
Diane Downs
That
is
woman,
crazy.
she's
I'm sorry.
nuts.
She
She's
is.
nuts. But look, we did an interview with her brother, and I'm in their group on Facebook, and I keep my mouth shut a lot because I don't want them to kick me out because I want to see what's going on. So I'm like, just shut up. We did an interview with him, and when we got through with the interview, I'm like, oh my God, the whole family was that way. Like, we brought up something about, oh, what was the subject? What did we say? Her stories. And I'm like, we were like, but her story changed this time. It changed. Her story kept changing. He's like, it doesn't matter. The story is the story is the story. The story doesn't matter. And we're like, but the story matters.
Oh man.
I kid you not. I was just like, did he really just say it didn't matter?
And so this was Diane Downs's brother.
Yes.
Does
Yep.
I mean
crazy. I'm like, that the whole family must have been that way. Nothing but sociopaths.
wow. Yeah, I mean, when I first watched that movie, oh gosh, when did that first come out?
That was
Farrah Fawcett.
mid-'80s, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That was terrible. I cried and I could still
That
watch it
was
today.
the very first. That is the very first true crime book I ever read.
And I cannot read. Now, you give me Harry's Case and I can read it, but anything else, I can't read. I mean, I can read, but I can't, like, I need audio.
Oh, I love a true crime book. The problem is when I start into the true crime book, then I go off and I'm like, oh, wait, let me look this up. So then I start looking that up. I end up with a rabbit hole of shit for a case and trying to log it and put it all together. And then, God forbid, let me be working on a case and somebody say, Brandy, did you see this one? And then I go on a whole nother case and I never get that one. That is my problem, guys. That is why I don't put enough stuff on my channel, because I start pulling up 500 cases that I'm digging and trying to put together. And yeah. Whew. But
so
yeah,
who in here?
I read Diane Downs' book. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you go ahead.
No,
go ahead. You go ahead. I'm looking up something anyway, so you go ahead.
My mother she wrote for a small newspaper in the town that we lived in, and she did like the accidents and like if there was assaults or disputes, if there was a murder. We had one or two. It was a small town, so we didn't have a lot, but she did all the like journalism stuff. And that was back when Ann Rule was still writing in the magazines, and Mother followed her every move. And then she wrote Ted Bundy's book. That was her first book. And then I don't remember what after that, but when she did Diane Downs, I had picked the book up and was looking at it, and I asked Mom, I said, can I read this one? And Mom said, yeah, you can read that one. So at 12 years old, I read Diane Downs' book, or Ann Rule's book about Diane Downs.
Real at 12 years old.
So yeah, it was in my very first book. Yep.
Oh God. Yeah, I get really distracted, Carrie. Really distracted. Who all in here still kind of keeps an eye on the Delphi case?
I do.
You do? Okay, I'm waiting for Shay to message me back, but there is a channel that you want to, I mean, there's so many episodes, but you want to go back to the very first one. And I'm going to put the link, and I want you guys to go watch this channel.
Is that one of the channels that Lindsay shared with us?
No. It started out, this channel, like when I first subscribed, there was like 100 and some people. And now it's almost 2,000. But let me tell you guys, I think there's 33 episodes on the Delphi, and they don't talk, but they literally put everything out there, and if you guys go back and watch this, every one of these episodes, start with episode 1, and you will then get back to me. I want you guys to get back to me on what you guys think after I send you this link and you go back and son of a buck. Hold on. I got to share it.
Yeah,
again.
Carrie, I think that we're going to find out more before the trial happens. They're very close-lipped. I don't think they're through charging people.
Okay. I want you guys to go to this. I just put it in the link here. Go here, and you don't even have to subscribe. And literally go back to episode 1 and go to 33. There's 33 episodes so far, and I get chills. Whoever owns this channel is freaking smart, very detailed, and it's crazy. It'll definitely maybe kind of make you see things in a different light. Shay and me started watching around the same time. I thought I was the only one in the community and I think she sent it to me and I'm like, yep, I've already seen this. And it's crazy. I mean, but anybody that thinks or that watches the Delphi thing, support with Steffa. I sent it to her one time and she was like, oh my gosh, after I think this was like 3 or 4 months ago. And anyways, just go back and watch those episodes on the Delphi. Yeah, Carrie, it's crazy. Once you start on one episode, you can't put your freaking phone down or your computer. You have to keep watching. And then you wait, and they just put another one out, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I think. And now I'm sitting here and I'm waiting, and I go back and check every day to make sure I didn't miss an episode. So, but yeah, I don't know who this channel, but they are very creative. They're very smart. And they are following this case with a fine-tooth comb. They are catching things that I would have never, ever caught. And it makes you look at, I mean, it's just crazy. Huh? Oh, it's not.
Yeah, I have to go watch.
Yeah. You sub too? Yeah, I wasn't like, I don't know who the person is, but they're very kind. They don't do live videos. No, the last video they did was 3 days ago. I thought it was a week ago or so. 3 days ago. And it says Delphi Murder, Shadow Man 33. The screenshot is the name of the video.
She saw her boo-boo.
Carrie, oh wait. Yeah, I saw my boo-boo. She must have, I don't know what she did, but she thought it was 6 months ago, their last video.
Oh.
Oh, Carrie, you're so much like me. I do. Oh gosh, you guys, the other day, or no, today.
I love Carrie's little moments.
I was working and I was listening to Amber and Lycan, and anyways, I pick up my phone because it kind of dinged, so I knew. And Milan asked me, "What did you put in the chat?" My phone, I must have been putting things in the chat and I didn't even know it because my phone was stuck in my sweatshirt. And I had to tell everybody, I said, listen, I'm sorry. I don't even know what was put in there, but it must have been a bunch of letters and numbers, I'm assuming. I do that all the time. I need to learn how to push my side button. So when I have my phone, it's not butt dialing and putting things in chats. It happens a lot. And then I'm constantly in chats and my kids are messaging me and I message them and I message it into the chat instead of them. Jeez. I'm a dumbass.
Oh, I'm in trouble. My dogs broke my computer charger. Shit.
They what? They broke it?
My dogs broke my computer charger.
Why, unplugging it again? Did they unplug your
No, they
computer
broke
again?
it. What
Well, I
plugs into
know,
the no,
but
what
how did
plugs
they
into
break it?
the part that well, if you'll let me finish, the part that plugs into the computer, they broke it somehow. I don't know. It's like bent. It won't.
What is it with those
It's
dogs
like
and your freaking charger?
it's because they want to be in my business and
They want you off of the
oh fuck.
computer and giving them
Yes, they do.
all your attention.
Well, they're in my lap now. I don't know why they had to sit on this and break it because now I can't charge my computer and it's dying. Son of a bitch. David's gonna kill me because he just bought this one for me.
Oh, shoot. Well, maybe you can,
Now I gotta go get a stupid.
yeah. Well, well, let's end this. And you guys don't forget to look at other cases near your hometowns that are missing people that nobody's talking about. And let's start talking about them, please. And of course,
Yeah.
Shay, we're going to be doing your case soon. So, anyways, well, my daughter's needing
Which
me,
one is Shay's?
so I
Okay.
will talk. Okay, Brandy, you
Sounds
figure out
good.
your charger, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for coming in to
You
chat.
guys have a good night.
Yes. Have a wonderful night. Night, Brandy. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.